We must have heard that La Nina, La Nina, La Nina. What is that? Because we tend to hear that only La Nina favors Indian monsoon. How? Let's see. La Nina means pulling of warm water in the west and central west Pacific. How does that happen? Let's discuss. Because we know this torrid zone, tropical zone, the area between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, it experiences easterlies. So now, whatever, when the easterly flows over the water bodies, it always forces the water which are present, the surface water which are present on the ocean to move along with it. Whenever on a free ocean, the fast moving air moves, that means it also takes or it also moves the water along with it. So as long as, and we know as this is the heat surplus area, because the apparent motion of sun is between this area only. As this is the heat surplus area, so the surface water of this area means the entire belt, entire torrid zone, that gets heated during the summer or during the winter. It remains heated for throughout the year. Whenever the easterly winds flows over these water bodies, it tends to move the heated water along with it, and after the interaction with the East Australian coast and all of these small islands, the accumulation of warm surface water, presents here. Now we have the accumulation of warm surface water near the east coast of Australia and around this mini island. Now, as long as, because the water are being drawn out from this area only, because the earth is a globe system, so now the water are being pushed out from this area and getting accumulated near this area. So now whenever water is moved out from it, whenever there is offshore wind, that means water are coming out of the shore, that means upwelling of cold water takes place. Because all of the water, we know in the science there is a concept, water, the liquid cannot be compressed. As soon as we try to compress it, it tends to emerge anywhere in the world. So now as soon as the water moves along with these trade winds, the upwelling of cold water takes place. Cold water makes the air, makes the atmosphere just above it very cold, and which act as a divergent wind system. Hence called it as a high pressure system. And here the accumulation of warm water creates a low pressure because it starts hitting the tropopause, because low pressure, because the accumulation of warm water will rise, and in order to fill those vacuum places, the water from, so the air from adjacent area fills this up and creates it as a low pressure. So along with the creation of low pressure, we might experience a thunderstorm, we might experience a tropical cyclone. So as this is a low pressure, and we have already discussed that along this area we find masculine high. If there is a low pressure just near to this masculine high, that means the stronger the low pressure, the stronger this high pressure will get, because the stronger low pressure will pull the wind very strong out from this high pressure system, and it creates that shell. Low pressure means rising of air, it will hit the tropopause and it will come back and fall into this high pressure system. That means the more the low pressure, the stronger the cell will get, and the stronger the cell will get, the masculine high will be stronger. As the high pressure system is a divergent wind system, now it is eligible to push the air much faster towards the Indian subcontinent, or we can say it as monsoon. Now the La Nina condition, how is it helping the masculine high to get stronger and push the wind so fast so that the burst of monsoon can be experienced in Indian landmass? Still, we have not discussed anything about the quality of rainfall. this only ensures the movement of air. The movement of air, how does first it move towards the Indian landmass. Now we need to take care the quality of rainfall. It depends only upon how this warm air is. Is it of sufficiency of moisture or is it devoid of moisture? If the Arabian Sea or the central West Indian Ocean is full of moisture, then the wind which is going from Mascarene High towards the Indian landmass, it can yield heavy rainfall in India. But if this part of ocean or this part of sea or water body is devoid of moisture, that means we generally do not find that quality of rainfall. So if the warm water is there in this water body, we call it as positive Indian Ocean dipole. Why is it called as a positive? Because some of the area on the ocean, on the water bodies of the world that we are concerned about. For La Nina and El Nino, we call it as NJO. El Nino Southern Oscillation. So if during this NJO cycle, we only take care of temperature of this water body. If the temperature of this water body is above normal, then we call it as a positive phase. If the temperature of this water body is below normal, I am not saying it is heated or it is cold. No. If it is above normal, then we plot it as a positive. If it is below normal, then we call it as a negative. Likewise, we are only concerned about the temperature of this water body. If this is above normal, we call it as positive phase. In a graph, we plot like that. If this temperature, if the temperature of this water body is below the normal temperature, then we call it as a negative phase, and we plot the chart accordingly. That's why if the temperature of this water body is above normal, then we call it as a positive Indian Ocean dipole. Why dipole? Dipole means we are concerned about two extreme, either heated up or cold. So now positive IOD, and if the temperature of this area is below normal, then we call it as a negative IOD, Indian Ocean dipole. So now if the temperature of this area is very high and the wind that are present above this Arabian Sea is full of moisture, that means whatever the wind is coming from Mascarene High, be it very fast or be it very slow, it can take the moisture laden air to this Indian landmass, which can yield rainfall. But if this moisture, if this air is devoid of moisture, that means the movement of air can be very fast, but the quality of rainfall cannot be assured. Quality of rainfall means now we are experiencing heavy rainfall. Yes. How much does it rain? It only decides whether this patch of Indian Ocean, the air present above it, whether it is full of moisture or devoid of moisture. If it is devoid of moisture, the circulation can be very fast, no doubt, but the quality or the amount of rainfall cannot be assured. But as soon as the moisture laden air is full of moisture, it is not entirely devoid of moisture. That means if the movement of air is very slow, but it can ensure heavy rainfall in Indian landmass. So, is this enough or do I need to continue as well? Enough?